heading for hardship.
Is that the way you raise fell, is it? Heading for hardship?
No, he got it soft. No, he definitely got it soft.
No. Let you hold it there while I start. That's okay? Yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are going cutting the maize. We are literally driving out of the yard, eventually ready. Liv is with me. We're in the 99 with the Kane, and also, I know they're recording it too, FarmFLiX are down with us. They have a camera in the cab here, so they filmed a bit of us getting ready. It's taken us a bit longer than we were hoping to get ready, but however, can't have it everywhere.
Any reason why you should be looking up at me in the cab? Right forward, 10 foot there, son.
At least we didn't come here for one angle.
What is she, Conor? What is she? A 900 or an 890 or what? Come on, call it.
890.
870, I'm going to say. 890. I'm wrong.
These dogs are giving me the fear here. Like normally when you go out to farms and you get like wild cats, they're just wild dogs running about the place.
I'm impressed you go to the effort of washing everything.
Well, we had to wash the yoke spread and dung, so it would be a bad job now pushing it up when they had dung.
I don't know if I'm played with butter or not.
No, I was going to say I don't think so.
Big operation here and there's just 2 staff.
Yes. Who's the boss though? Big people drink.
I say don't, he says how high.
Yes.
But I had to get used to cameras.
This one?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
That just owns that tractor. Was filling alongside me. And there was a pole. But he forgot that I was 20 foot wide. And he kept crouching in and I had to get out by the pole. And he clipped the corner of the head.
Uh-huh.
And whatever it done, it broke the 2 locks on the bottom and come off spinning.
Yes.
That's the only damage it done.
You get away very lucky.
Yeah.
And that was all you did?
You could have twisted the whole feeder housing. Very, very simple. But the first harvester I had, when I was up buying it, she was in the shed in 06 with the engine went out of her.
Yes.
She picked up on a piston. There was a brand new engine put into it at that time.
Well, there's not a bit of a deterrent whenever you see something for the first time with no engine on it. I'm thinking here, I could do a bit of that.
Yeah. But sure, look at everything you struggle. The challenge is in life is to get by the trouble.
But there's getting a flat wheel and there's lying without a heart in the middle of the whole thing.
Oh, but there's a new engine in there now.
Are you contracting as well?
Bit, not as much as we used to.
Okay.
No.
Well, how much
I
are we
used
going
to cut 250 acres of maize one time.
I'll say how much are we going to cut today?
6.
6.
Acres.
We were told 7.
7.
Somebody's lying here.
He was exaggerating. About 7.5 acres in it.
Well, what's your role? Are you harvester man or pit man? Or?
Harvester man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What's Phil do?
Oh, he's a pit man.
He's pit man. Right.
And that was our original old shovel. We bought that truck and we made a shovel out of it.
Yes.
That's how we look over there, right? Every inch of that is under.
Yes.
Front axle, back axle, engine.
You're not afraid of the spanners then?
Never. What's your? We're giving hands for a reason.
I like him.
There's a sticker on my workshop window, heading for hardship.
Is that the way you raise fell, is it? Heading for hardship?
He got it soft. He definitely got it soft.
What can I do for you?
The only thing is, we'll pick up that head now and we'll put it on. It was all gone through last year, so I only cut 7 acres last year. Sad, isn't it? I'd have it sold only before I said I might grow maize again.
Why do you torture yourself with 6 acres of maize?
Because we grew it last year and it was great.
You have the header, you think I have to use it?
I have the header, and we said, look, our aim here is to try and finish 250 cattle of all farm produced produce.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing this year. There's nothing bought in.
I see you've a right bit of straw and grain guard. How much are you cutting?
We cut about 185 acres of corn. About 230 acres altogether into it.
Yes.
About 500 acres on the farm. We own 2 and we rent 3. Not a good equation. 2 on our own 3 and rent 2.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, here's what it is. Why FarmFLiX then?
Got the
Turn the
bug.
tables here now.
Got the bug. Got the bug.
Got the bug.
Got the bug on his way. Tractor mad.
Tractor mad.
My dad had 8 acres.
Move that 69, that 99 out of the way, will you? Move the 99.
Where?
Just out of the way, 10 foot, like get that head picked up.
Oh yeah, I'm in the way, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're not a bit sorry, go on. Hey, the rest is farming. No,
Oh, that's sheep man there.
we have a sheep.
Sheep and beef.
I used to have sheep too. What type of sheep?
Lanark, black faces.
Oh, blackface. I used to breed Hampshire Downs here one time.
They're really popular again now.
Yeah, a bit, yeah. I had them, but the family came along and you couldn't rear family on sheep. So
Well, that's why I keep telling these boys, but
something had to change.
that's why I have chickens.
Chicken.
He says the chickens pay for everything.
I've got 12 chickens and I get more money out of them than I do the sheep.
I think that's lies. I think that's pure lies.
He must be missing a couple of knots, maybe.
You may let that down. You may let that down and back
Catches the wrong way,
out.
right?
The hook is the wrong side.
Gee.
Now you go ahead, Daddy, I get this other trailer out. Or we're going chapped.
What, is it off on this as well?
No, it's not. It's on, but it's just rattles.
Amazing. Run with chat to but
These is Chris's new boots.
Aye. That was Conor,
Yes.
and that was John.
How many times have you had these boots out?
I think this is my fourth.
4th time filming. Spotless. So I just put in a wee mark to make it look as if he's doing something.
Wee shot.
Let's see what Chris is getting here. Oh,
I don't know what it is.
a cracker.
A what?
You don't know what that is?
No.
You know what that's here is?
what's that called?
No idea.
With a rookie with us.
Most lads around here just know what it is.
Ain't you being funny?
Oh, hilarious as this morning. Off camera. I had a little run to do yesterday evening.
It's a grease gun. It's one of the most hateful things known to man. But if you own the machinery, it's the most important thing known to man. Old boys be running around with a grease gun there, putting grease in everything, so as soon as you touch it with your hands, you're claried.
Yeah. And then you jump into a tractor and your steering wheel's claried.
Yeah.
So whenever people give off to us about wearing gloves, whenever we're doing
Oh, I'm slavering about why are you wearing gloves? Because of old boys and grease guns.
yeah.
Are you Philip as well?
Derek.
Derek.
We've gone all sorts of things.
Yes.
That was the thing that happened about 2 years ago. Probably 3 years ago now. What are we going to call him? And he puts it up on YouTube. And the popular consensus was Father Phil.
Yes.
So I'll hear the confessions now, anytime you want.
What do you think of the whole YouTube thing?
An honest answer.
Go ahead.
At the very start, not a lot.
Right.
Because it's like opening your underwear drawer and everyone having a little rummage through it. Now, and that is the God honest truth. You think about it now.
Oh, I agree.
It's just the same as you open up the underwear drawer and they just start picking and poking at different things, right? But it brings the likes of that to the yard for a demo.
New toys.
New toys.
Yes.
Toys that we may never see. Never be able to see.
All for you putting your knickers on the internet.
Here, breathe that middle one in the middle there, you. Be careful now. Over that on camera.
He says you're good with the grease gun, Phil.
Oh, is he telling stories, was he?
He says you're some ham in the grease gun.
Was he telling stories?
Oh no, he didn't tell us nothing. Have you something to confess?
No, there or in there.
Go up and look at it on that side.
I think he set you up, Phil.
Huh?
He'd give you the hard one to get to.
Always.
Push it on there now. Now that's it. Hold it. That's it.
Are we going to cut both spots or just?
What?
Are we going to cut both spots now or just the one?
Well, we'll cut that one and we'll look at the other one.
Alright. Conor was telling me why all them cobs come up on the plants. Because they're plants that aren't surrounded by other plants.
Right.
And it's a mechanism like how grass in a drought comes to seed early. It puts up extra cobs to get extra seed to fill the space around it for next year.
I'll do that.
Cahill, when he was down, so he seen the video.
What the?
You have a bust pipe for letting it down. Yeah, it's pissing oil out there.
Every time I think I've seen all the dogs, there's another dog. And where are they all coming out?
The dog sounds like a step on fan belt there whenever he goes off.
Sorry?
The dog sounds like a step on fan belt whenever he goes off.
He's just waiting for something to run out from it now.
Good to see you doing that, John.
Go stand on it now. Push it in the front of your feet.
Keeping that wall up, you know.
You're going to stand there for the day, yeah?
May as well. May as well.
Heavy work, boys, heavy work.
No, when we're away, the wind will come and the whole lot will be out in the potatoes. Guaranteed.
What's the plan now, John?
I have no idea, horse.
Run out of diesel.
No, just making sure that it'll start again. There might be a bit of battery, mightn't be. Well, no, the battery's alright. There's no dead man's on it and the radio doesn't turn off.
Yes.
It drains the battery over a few days. Right, trailer.
What's the plan?
Eventually, so just heading for the field now. I have to take 2 load, because the field we done with gold crop, and there's 2 varieties in, and we have to weigh and map out the area it takes to fill the load to work out the yield of the field, and have to take samples and all of that. So plan is I'm going to follow them down. I'll take my load, weigh it, come back, empty it, and when we're drawing, we'll be drawing roundabout system. So the way you'll be going is the way we'll be coming. Oh no, we'll either be going that way or coming back the other way, so that we don't meet, and so that we don't bring muck out on either the main road or the neighbours. I don't know which. So whichever it feels like. But yeah, we're going back onto the field and we're going to go cut this year's maize. So, just in the field now, Father Phil's just getting set up there. I'm just setting up my application weight. The header is 6 meters. 6 rows, no, it's 4 meters. It's 6 rows, it's 450. My bad. So well then they take a full row. Yeah, we'll just say it takes a full row every time. When I drive alongside him, I can record what he cuts, what goes into the trailer, and that will give me the area of how much it took to fill the trailer. That's what we're hoping for. That's the plan. So, yeah. There's all the FarmFLiX crew. We'll go and chat, lads. Right, don't need to do anything. You can do. Squeeze out.
You need a lift up or something?
No. It's because the steering axle is plugged into the same spool that the front links works out of. Because that's in float, the front links come down. I think it looks like a crab when the front links are down.
Sorry, all right?
Yeah, slurry's out, yeah. Ask the good questions, yeah. It just changes. It goes from slurry to dairy washings.
Yes, got you, I got you.
You want to trigger this, man?
Well, is he happy? So that's crack, is he?
Oh yeah. Once everything goes right, things start going wrong. If he gets stuck or something happens, that's when the humour can turn a bit foul.
Okay.
That's when this has to be put away. So I don't know how you got on with yours now. Oh, he's just coming up the hedge there now. Hopefully it's as good a crop as last year. Last year the maize that come off that field tested 42% starch. It was the highest starch that the crowd that tested for seen all over the country. So it was huge feeding in it.
Well, did it get the rain at the right time? Did it?
Everton up this end of the country, I presume it's no more than yourselves, we got lots of rain when we needed it. We got the heat and we got the rain. We weren't like the lads in the south.
And the ground wouldn't be light, like it's not like it's...
Oh, this is all heavy ground. All heavy ground round here, so we never really run out of moisture. It just gets too wet.
Silage, right? They fell there.
It was a right good year, so hopefully it's in the crop there now. We wouldn't have put out as much fertiliser as last year. We put out more dung and more slurry.
He's hardly going to take that all right, is he?
I'm just going to I don't think he realises how full it is now. Maybe I should just give him a little ring there now. Something tells me.
No wet corners down in there, no?
No, that end of the field will be sound. You're busy this weather.
I never really ends. You know, the editing keeps us wild busy.
Yeah.
Serious busy. Like.
I'd say now that ploughing match video must have been some...
Brian was flat out at it for a week.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I just knew there's been a lot left out of it. So I sat for the next week about the second bit.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and that's us.
Like, 'cause that was an hour long video, and I can only imagine just how much more footage there was beyond that.
Like he was looking to make a video a half hour.
Yeah.
And we've ended up putting out 2.5 hours of material out of it. You know.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of footage in it.
I just find it very hard whenever you've got the footage there to just leave it on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, you try to put it out when you have it.
Yeah. I don't know. Jeez, I'm not going to get by that trailer. Gate. Not gonna make it in by the gate.
You know what you're steering?
No, I can't get in by the gate. You get.
Are you recording?
What? Am I recording? What do you mean? I am recording. Yeah, I'm recording. So remind me to turn it off in the headlamp. Or whenever you're ready, then film with the camera. Just look at the height of the thistle. So, starting to harvest the maize. Show the harvester now. My lovely assistant. So we're harvesting the foxtrot, which was at the top end of the field, if I remember correctly. Hopefully I remember. There's some good tall maize now up this end. Look, just compared to the harvester.
There's quite a lot of pots on the ground.
Is there?
Now you're going to meet him. Get out.
You're okay. You're okay.
Can't get this trailer over onto the tar. Right. Can you record that? Or just do it? Where's the camera?
You have it.
Camera. So, bro's going in there to get his load. And he's going to get caught, he's not going to get caught. Our first load, 0.25 of a hectare, so I don't know what that is in acres. But that's what it's done. We have to go to town now, get this weighed, and then back to the yard and tip it. So anyways, we'll be on. Do you even look where it's pointing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at you.
Just on the camera I see in front, all I can see is my nose.
Well, first impressions, Derek.
Well, of the crop, very happy. Actually chopping very green. First impression, it's an honour to have you here.
It's an honour to be here.
Never did I think I'd ever see news boys coming down to a little operation like ours.
Not at all. Sure, Phil's the biggest player on YouTube in Ireland, is he not?
He is, yeah.
No, he's done very well.
He has, yeah. It's been great. It's been great. Look, I do give out about it by times, but to be honest, I don't give out about it. become part and parcel of everyday life now.
What age is Phil now?
26.
26. And he's been on the farm with you since 16 or what?
He on the farm when he was 3 or 4. I remember bringing him in one Sunday evening. He used to come in farming with Daddy every Sunday evening, and he didn't want to get his wellies dirty.
Yes.
And I came home and I said to the wife, we were having the farmer here. But that did change.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, it's great. It's great to have him. There's no two ways about it. But it's not easy. There's always lots to be done. And he's a smart buck. He kind of went off there now and he's made his own little thing out of YouTube. And for some reason, God bless all the viewers, I can't see why they find it so interesting.
I'm here to find out. So that's what I've come to see now.
I haven't figured it out yet.
It's 47 minutes since we left the yard. You can just tell them we're not battery. You imagine sitting through that 47 minutes to pick out the 30 seconds of decent footage. No wonder it takes them so long.
There's so many I had out there, you know. And to be honest, I watch very little myself. I watch a handful of lads occasionally.
Who's your first choice?
I would watch Ollie Blogs.
Okay, yes. He has risen a lot in the last year.
He has, yes. We met Ollie at the class day. The class had us over at in April. Grand fella. I'd watch a bit of Lord Muck as well. Great lads. George Saunders as well. Little bits from time to time. It depends on what we're at.
Yes.
If I could get back pumping a bit of slurry now, I'd watch a lot more. But there hasn't been very little pumping this
You set the pump then, do you?
I run the pump, yeah.
Okay.
I set the pump. He's threatening me with a one-man pumping outfit, but I don't know.
I always imagine there'd be some thinking, hey, if you were responsible for pumping on spread.
I know it'd be a lonely day, wouldn't it?
It'd be a long day now.
It'd be a lonely day. Never mind a long day. It'd be
Imagine
a very lonely day.
there's a hole in the pipe halfway to you.
Oh no. Plus, I do a great time going around meeting down characters.
Yes.
I have a lovely round of work. And great customers. As I'm pumping for the last good to 25 years.
Yes.
And there's lots of systems out there, but we still have their jobs, you know, and we still do them.
Well, give me some history. Where did you start in the farming?
I left school at 14.
What year would that have been?
1985. We would have been still on two-wheel drive. First four-wheel drive we got was in 87. I'll remember it well, because I've seen most of it, inside and out. Was a 298.
Yes.
A Massey 298. And the next spring I bought a Landini 8550. And my father and my brother would have been contracting, all their lives, and kind of gave it up because the kit was old and inherited this farm that we're on.
Yes.
And it was a rough farm, and they had enough of it. Hire work is nice, but life passes by. You can be working all the time, like you have to have a life. I know a lot of contractors out there that all they can see is the next job and someone else's job. You know, and if you're happy with that, that's grand, but the machinery wear out, you wear out. You have to have a life out of it too.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can do a day's work and you mightn't bring it home a day's pay. Sometimes you could do several days work and not bring home a day's pay.
You must enjoy it though.
I enjoy the customers. I enjoy going around meeting up with my customers. There's customers I only see once a year for different jobs we do, and yeah, I enjoy that part of it. We had a bit of an old chat, and they look after us well and that sort of stuff, you know. But I look at the place is full around balers now, and we wouldn't do the same level of work we were doing, and do I want to do it? Not really. Philip is mad to do it, but yeah, I get more focused on the farm. That's me.
Yes.
He'll tell you something different now.
Okay.
Yeah. But, he's young. He's young.
Well, of all the things you've experienced over the years, of all the things you've been into, what was the rashest sort of decision you'd ever made? Like, what didn't play out at all how you hoped it would?
Probably to buy a self-propelled harvester.
Talk me through that now.
We're cutting with a JF 1100 and a Massey 3690. Nothing wrong with it, but she was 40 acres a day.
JF special?
JF. That was her. She done what she said in the tin.
Yeah. They were hard to maintain though if you were trying to do that every day of the week.
That was the trouble. And we were cutting a nice little bit of stuff. We were cutting a right little bit of stuff. Just went up to get a belt for a class combine we had and seen an old self-propelled. She was 8 or 10 year old. I said, I wonder what price that is, and of course made the mistake of asking what price it was, and sure we could afford it, and sure we bought it, and sure look at great little brave little harvester, a little 860. Brave little harvester now. No, we'll have a rest. Would have went on. Look, sure we couldn't leave it at that. We had to buy a maize head, we had to buy a whole crop head, we had to buy the mills. We, you know, we had to do sink it to the hole, you know. But done lots of work with them. Work changed. Maize in this area changed a lot. It just disappeared totally.
It is a hard crop to grow unless you have great conditions for it.
We used to grow it years ago without polythene and get a decent cob, but it got to the stage where we were getting no cob. You just had the white cob with no grain. It'd be very bad weather when it'd be pollinating, and it just wouldn't form the grain. The last few years we've been getting fairly good weather. Plastic is good, but it's expensive, and now it's gone. It's gone very expensive because the alternative is huge price.
Well, you were saying did you try to fill them without the plastic?
We would fill without the plastic. It's probably taller, and it's a thicker crop. It's a thicker stem.
What's your cob like?
Cob is quite good, but not as mature as that. That's when that's actually going through the process there, it's disappearing. You can't see it in the maize at all. It's not jumping out at you. It's broke. It's shattered into it. If we were to cut other feed this evening, I'd be afraid it'll probably run.
Okay.
And that's if it starts to run, well, that's part of your feed value.
Yes.
Gone.
You were FarmFLiX long?
A year past in April there.
Yeah.
So,
Do you haven't seen much of the country, I suppose that has.
I've done a bit of travelling this past year and a half. So I was in between April and October last year. I was across the water 8 times, and I was down south 3 or 4 times as well. Like, so occupied plenty. Like, and we were sort of short in presenters this year too. So I've been done a fair bit of the filming this year now.
You don't mind being in front of the camera?
Well, I'm not really one like for taking selfies or anything. I couldn't hold the camera up and look at myself on the screen or anything, but you know, if there's a camera there,
You can manage.
I can ramble away, you know, but it's, well, there's anything worth listening to, it's a different story, but...
So I hear some people, as soon as the camera is pulled out,
well, that's it.
they can talk 100%, tell you the full story of whatever you're doing. As soon as you pull out the camera, they just can't get a word out.
This is only for YouTube, like it's just a
Promo.
say hello to
Celebrity. No, don't mention the word celebrity.
All in the family.
Still can't figure it out, but anyway. Living the dream.
Yes.
Living the dream.
It's the simplicity of it though, like, you know.
Well, it's simple. Look, and it is what it is.
The fellow's working with a GoPro on a stick, and all he vlogs looks like he's working with his phone.
Yeah, Ollie's still on the phone. Ollie's not. We all went over to class in the UK, and he had his drone and he had his bits and pieces, and Ollie walked with 2 hands in the pocket. He says, "This mustn't ring the camera." No, he said, "Do it on the phone." His phone is as good as you can get. And that's it. He just does it on the phone.
And that's what makes our game really hard, because we're like, I'm going to town on it, trying to make TV grade.
You have to bring it that step above all that.
That's what we're trying to do. But
not easy. Now, I watched bits and pieces. Philip showed me bits and pieces you've done, and you do great work. And I'm thrilled you're here today. Now, I must admit, you're steady Eddie coming now.
You're steady Eddie.
Eric, that fella didn't know he lived on a farm up to about a year and a half ago. I'm telling you.
Did you decide one day you needed to learn?
No, he decided he had a driving license. And I says, you spend long enough in that bedroom. And took to drive. If you could peel a potato with a tractor now, he would. But if you asked him to peel it with a fork and a knife, no.
Right, bro, you go down and move the bales and open the door in the shed.
What bales? What bales?
Where the grain is,
Yeah.
there's bales of straw in the doorway, small squares. Move them out of the way, open up the 2 doors. So top door, bottom door.
I'm not deaf. I just didn't know you put tiny bales there.
Go on with you.
That's what like John and Brian's like when they're out filming together.
Brian, small squares. Just clarifying who's who there.
Strong hay.
Oh, he's a gas man, so he is.
It's not really fun with the farming, is it?
No. He drive a tractor, he do anything driving a tractor. But to do manual labour, that he's not too bad. He has improved a lot now, and he has played a blinder for us all year. He drove all summer there for us, spreading slurry, rowing, carting. He done a lot of work now, but he still, if you were to give him the option of staying at home on the PlayStation or come out driving, he just as well stay at home. Look, that's just him. Farming's not for everyone.
Lots too, like.
So he was billeted on the 6290 all summer with front suspensions, and we actually traded it in for that 7618, and he's taken a bit of pride in it now. We washed her up this morning now after rolling the grain there for the last couple of days, and get her trained up again. Not a bad little tractor now.
Yeah.
Not a bad little tractor.
Well, how did we get the Hearn to be 2-tone?
Top crates rotted off it.
Oh, you did the new set or what?
Yeah, that's the new set on top. They're mellowing in with the rest now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Well, I rang William Hearn and I said they wanted X, Y, and Z, and some of the crates were second hand, but he resprayed everything, so it looked smashing when he came down. That's about almost 8 or 9 years ago.
Yes.
And we never had to put a hammer to anything. It just bolted off, bolted on.
Fitted.
But it's 2-ton. That's an old. The bottom chassis is old now. It's probably 98, I'd say.
Had a big trailer back in 98 too, like.
That was a big trailer. Like, they were nearly 19 foot, not 18 foot.
You don't get the Wi-Fi departed for you.
She does, yeah. Her tractor is currently doesn't have a 4-wheel drive shaft.
Right, okay.
And she told me she wasn't going to draw unless it was fixed, and we didn't have time to fix it, so that's the only reason she's not drawn. Other than that, she'd be on the trainer trailer that was left full there in the field.
Yes.
Some of the best drivers I have is the girls, Liv and Jess. Great drivers. The lads that give out now probably have said that, but anyway. But they're a sight. Oh, they're unreal.
6270, that's her tractor, and you want her to do anything, you put her in that tractor.
Yeah.
It just needs a new carrier bearing put into it. And we just took the shaft out of it so we could keep using it.
Well, you do that work yourself, like?
Yeah, all repair works are done ourselves. Eventually. It might take us a while to get around to it, but we get it done eventually. When it becomes a necessity, that's why it gets done. Like the 6290 that I was ferrying around in the yard, that sat in the corner of the workshop for 5 years, well, nearly 5 years.
Right.
The hydraulic pumps went in it. And well, we eventually, it sat for a year in Leitrim where we were bailing, and it went on us. We brought it home, pushed it into the corner of the shed, right, we'll get to that when we have a chance. And then we started taking bits off it to keep all the other 62s going. But last winter we took into it and we got her going again. But that just tends to be what happens.
Never was a big fan of cutting across through the crop. When you have a small acreage, you tend to mind every bit of it, you know. Only one slight problem, I didn't get that square there fully open now.
I seen that now. I thought you were going to head off. I thought it was ambitious. You were heading off with the 3/4 full trailer along that headland.
I didn't think I'd back it up through it.
You done well.
It's not bad, the 4-wheel drive shaft in the workshop.
You good tyres on her?
Yeah, she's not bad. What's wrong with this fella?
That's the main message, boy.
It's the driver.
That thing is running sweet, hey.
She's not bad for now, Joe.
How many drum hours is on her there now?
4,629. 6,230 engine hours.
On this engine?
No, on that engine take off 2,100.
Aye. So about 4,000 both then?
4,000 both. Should do me a while yet.
She'll do you a long time yet, hey.
Yeah, that's my plan now.
Just the difference is you know her.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody else to go out to buy one with them hours on it, they're like, what am I buying?
Oh, she don't know.
Where did she come from?
She don't know.
How many blow-ups did she have?
Yeah. She cost a good bit. I gave 97,000 for it. I said I'd go all out, if I could get the money, I'd go all out and buy what I want to buy and do me for the rest of my days.
Yes.
And then I says, now the next thing is service it yourself, so you know every inch of it. That's what I do. Every year I do a different section of it every year. Next year is the spout. about is starting to show its age. Done feed rollers a couple of years ago, the drum, blower paddles, everything. Pickup last year, done the full pickup last year, every inch of it. New cams, new cam rollers, all new tines. You wouldn't hear the pickup running now. And it's amazing, I look back at a video that he done maybe the year before, and all you can hear is the pickup clatter. Well, there's not a sound out of it. Oh yeah, great job. And then I probably had the parts for nearly 2 years before I got around to doing it.
So you're saying as if I can find myself a nice old 492 when I bring her down, you'll just go through her front to back for me?
You're ambitious. But I've the two 1200s done now. I intend to do that red one completely from start to finish. Leave her in showroom condition. The other one we leave her kind of working clothes.
Okay.
Which will stay yellow.
Well then, you mean at this stage now you're dialed back the contract now wee bit to just more story and
Yeah, I would say that the story. Yeah.
Can you still justify yourself rebelled?
But sure, what's it worth now? It's worth nothing anyway.
Well, what would you say she's worth? What do you think she's worth?
I don't know. She's worth 25 grand. Tell you enough. It's worth that to me.
Oh, easy.
Well, we cut over 300 acres, probably 350 acres on the farm every year between whole crop, maize, first cut, second cut silage. And we have probably 500 acres of pit silage still cutting as well. But they're the handy jobs that we can keep in and out in a day or two. A busy weekend really gets us out, depending on what customer rings. But we have two very good customers that could knock 300 acres between the two of them. The one weekend.
Yeah. No good going to that with a JF?
No, not going back. I have them in the shed. I have a JF 900 and a JF FC80. Ever see an FC80?
Is that the wee side mount job? Yes.
I don't know, I can't get over how green that's chopping.
Are you happy?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy, yeah. Because I'd be afraid I'd come out maybe Saturday morning after there's a bit of wind coming.
Okay, yes. You'd like to see her in a bed?
I like to see her lying flat under my black cover. Not lying flat out in the field.
Well, how you getting a nice wee evening for it there now?
Oh, it's grand.
Sun's pushing through.
Yeah, well, that was the forecast. I knew you boys would bring down the good weather with you. So.
Oh yeah, standard operating procedure. Never leave home without the good weather.
We used to run a bit of an outside each day, and it was great crack, but he's got too popular now, and
can't cope with the crowd.
I'd be afraid we'd have a crowd. That's what I'd be afraid.
Yes.
And then, like, who's responsible then?
Oh, I get where you're coming from.
You know, like, I don't know. I presume you were there with him on some of the days at the plough match.
I was.
On the stand.
So
Jeez, he came home on the Wednesday evening.
The Wednesday now was manic. Yes. Absolutely manic. Just for 5 hours we stood with the mowers, and it was non-stop from 11:30 till 5 o'clock. Around 5 o'clock they started to kind of dissipate, and we were able to, another half an hour we made as far as the tent, and half an hour later we were starting to move away from the stand.
Well, he won't admit to this, but eyes are popping out of his head.
It's a long day, Stan. It's nice. I tell you, you'll have enjoyed it.
Oh, I done it on the Thursday, and I had a ball. Oh, I loved every minute of it.
Oh, you love it because you're meeting people and the crack and all that.
I tend to get a different sort of a clientele, like a lad with a bit of grey hair, you know. Which is great crack. Oh, geez, you meet some characters. You meet some characters now. No, we were down with Timmy O'Brien on the Saman stand now, and I'd understand for probably 5 hours one evening, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It's lovely meeting the people. It's lovely.
It is.
I'm going to say we're out meeting the people that's watching us. We get a chance to watch them. This is the same variety as we had last year, and you know there's an odd cob on the ground. They're inclined to fall off. But I know it's going across the far field. It's not. They're not falling off. Oh, you're the dog. You are the dog.
He's not going to let you fall in front of her at all.
Hence, I only brought 4 rows over.
Can't buy experience.
I do to say this, see this. The old bald head, huh? Oh yeah, but everybody is cool, yeah.
Oh, aye.
I treat everything I do as a school day.
That's a very boring day whenever you go out and you
Nobody knows
you
everything.
didn't learn anything new that day. Just go really easy with that cane. Do not put that cane on the side.
John's right and scared of that trailer, isn't he?
Sorry?
He's right and scared of that trailer.
Well, the trailer, when she's full now, we were drawing wood chip for a customer, and it was a bit hairy, it was wet wood chip too.
Yes.
It was a hairy old spin now. Could do a bit of tin work we're replacing and a bit of a paint job.
Yes.
A wee bit rotten. Just had to get me sample. That's the 2 samples got. So we worked with Gold Crop on our maize this year for the videos and for them to kind of do a comparison between how well it yielded and then the nutritional difference between the two.
Well, is maize not a really expensive thing for a beef man to be growing?
It was, still is, especially this year, even last year. We worked out the cost of it. We've had the bulls last year on maize we grew last year in this field, and when they came to finishing, our daily weight gains were down by about 0.2, 0.3 than any other year. So I was putting that down to missing out on the maize at the start of the finishing ration, because by the time maize was cut, cured and ready for feeding, it was November.
Yep.
Whereas we'd normally have them on it from the beginning of October. So the biggest gamble isn't so much whether the cost of growing it outweighs the cost of buying it in, it's whether you have a crop worth growing in the first place.
Yes, okay.
We grew maize last year, and before that we hadn't grown it since 2015, and the year we grew it in 2015 we had heaps of cobs, but we had nothing in them. They never filled, they never produced, because they come a bad wet and cold month when the plant should have pollinated, and it didn't pollinate, so it didn't produce the kernels, so there was basically no feeding in it. It was just all roughage.
Yeah.
And like, if the weather goes wrong on you can lose the crop very easy. It's a very, what's the right word, tricky crop to manage, or to get the weather. It's all about the weather.
Yes. Well, is it a delicate sort of crop?
Yeah. If you have a cold, wet year, you're not going to have a good crop of maize, even if you put it under plastic.
Yeah.
The way I describe plastic is like a bad insurance policy. It may cover you and it may not.
Yes.
Like on a year like this, our uncovered maize has done very well, especially for up this part of the country.
Yeah.
So if you can grow it without the plastic, you're saving something like €150, and I think that's even more now because we can't use the traditional plastic. You have to use the biodegradable stuff, which is, I don't know, 50% more expensive.
But does that not make more sense? Like, what beforehand, what did you do with the plastic when it was on the ground?
That's it.
That was just put into the ground.
Yeah, it's what they call it. It's not exactly environmentally friendly. It's called UV unstable. So the sunlight breaks it down into microplastics.
Right. Okay.
But the biodegradable makes more sense in an environmental perspective, but the cost of it will push people out of growing it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to put an extra, we're talking, now I'm not maybe the best man to say it, but you could be talking 50, 60, €70 an acre onto growing it.
But then is that just like another example of trying to push the farmers out from doing it here and importing it?
Yeah. But if you can do it without the plastic, like you're saving yourself a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's just whether you get the weather or not to grow it.
Yeah.
It's just one of them crops. You have a good year, you have a good crop, and if you have a bad year or even a middling year, that's all you have. There's other crops you can grow with a lot less risk and a lot less money involved, with nearly the same feed potential, but at the same time knocking feeds as well as maize. And then we have all the kit to use it, and makes for another good video.
The YouTube views will be paying for it anyway.
Oh yeah, YouTube pays for a lot of things. But this year we'll be fully self-sufficient. There'll be no meal of any description bought in to feed the finishing cattle.
Right.
Last year we were buying in biscuit meal to complement everything we grew, and our biscuit meal was coming in from the UK, and with Brexit and all that, the cost of bringing it in now is astronomical. So we grew sugar beet to replace the energy in the biscuit meal, and hopefully it'll work out that we won't lose too much weight gain or be too far down on the fat score, but this year we'll be fully self-sufficient.
A lot of boys tells me sugar beet's about like Red Bull for cattle. It's just like rocket fuel.
Yeah, the last time we grew beet again was 2015, and we ended up going out with the maize header in 2016 in must have been August or June or July, to cut the bolters off it so we could plough it in. Off 5 acres. It was that wet in the winter of 2015, we couldn't get it pulled. I remember going out with the teleporter, drive into the field, bring the machete with you, pull the beet, top it, throw it in the bucket, and then you'd have to push yourself back out with the boom. Shock.
Lethal.
17 or 18 acres in the field, and there's 5 acres we never got pulled. And there's a video on YouTube of cutting the bolters with the maize head. Something like when fodder beet goes wrong, I think they're called.
Well, YouTube's going to be nice to have someone to look back on too. Like, I know it's a bit of a hobby for you, but it's always nice to be like, oh well, in 2015 it was too wet to lift sugar beet.
Yeah.
You know, something that's always there to show people.
Yeah, and even like my father, he done filming back in the 90s, 95, 96. When he got married, he got an old JVC camcorder to make videos, and he took a couple of videos of cutting silage and how they done things back then, and I put them all up on YouTube. And you can see how things progressed from the 298 and the 717 New Holland harvester to the 2720 with the JF 900 to the 3690 with the 900, and then to the first self-propel.
So how many self-propels have you had in your time?
Just 2.
Right.
So we had a 860 first, and it done 2 seasons if I remember rightly.
Your dad was telling us earlier on the first time he ever seen that harvester, she had no engine in her.
Yeah.
What was the theory there, or what was wrong with her at that time?
The men that had her at some point when he would have seen her, they were trying to run, I don't know, 8-row or 10-row maize head. If I remember rightly, now you'll have to double check with my father because they'll surely get it wrong. And they ended up blowing the engine in it.
Right. So how many years have you boys been growing maize?
Oh, my father would have started to grow maize in the early 2000s. Could have been 2001 or 2002.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So this isn't a recent thing, like?
No, we've been growing maize for a long time. We grew it up till 2015, and that year just sickened us.
Right.
So we quit growing it, and we were buying in maize meal, and that was fine, feeding the bulls. And I suppose we had all the kit. It'd make for a good video. You know, we'd reduce our dependency on buying in all this maize meal and the cost of it. We said we'd start growing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And it worked out quite well, so it has. That's me full. Last year worked out quite well, and hopefully it'll work out just as well this year.
Yes. Well, there's not too many of these half pipe, or there's not too many of these Kane classics in the country with steering axles.
Is there not?
Very few that I've seen.
I wouldn't know now. My father, he was up buying something off Jonathan, and he seen it in the yard. I asked him how much, and that was it, the deal was done.
Yes.
He brought it home. We replaced it. We actually had another Kane Classic, 16 foot, and we sold that and we bought this. The other trailer there wasn't much steel left in it now, so we sent it on its way.
Well, he hasn't too much faith in me when he thinks I'm going to cope it on the way back.
Right, so this tractor is fast.
Yes.
When we changed the tyres on this, put the new Bridgestones on it, we went up 2 profile sizes, and it'll still say 54 on that, but in reality you're doing 58, 60.
Yes.
So she's like a rocket.
She can go.
Yeah. She can go like a rocket.
And you run butterflies in this thing?
Yeah.
What horse is she?
200 on the nose, dyna tested.
And they're mounted butterflies?
Yeah.
Works alright with them?
Yeah, perfect. I can mow away there. A light crop I can do 10, 11, 12 kilometers an hour. A heavier crop I'm back down at 6 or 7. But like, she's never lewing, she's never dying, like pulling back.
Yeah.
You just see the temperature gauge. That's what I'd be watching the whole time, is how hot she gets. Because when the pull starts to come on her, all that happens is you hear her start winding up. Like when we start driving there, you hear the spool.
Yes.
But she'll be running there around 40 litres an hour when I'm mowing. No, she's a good old bus now.
So do you keep your steering axle floating along the road, do you?
Yeah. So it's on the spools and on the Datatronics.
Yes.
My spools don't have a working float on them because there's a problem in the electronics and the armrest. So I have to use the headland management to activate the float to get them to come in and out.
I'll maybe just lower on the way back just in case.
Yeah, it's just as handy because sometimes you hit a bumper, you're going maybe with a bit of speed and you'll just see her start doing this behind you. And just
take a speed wobble.
Yeah.
So you're going back to buck rake here then, are you?
Yeah. That's my job. I rarely get out to draw, or we call it draw, you call it cart.
Yes.
Rarely get out to do that.
So which would you rather be doing?
I quite like drawing, but at the same time I'm just happy to be at silage, maize, whatever.
That's your some job.
Yeah, someone run out of tar last night.
Yes.
Didn't come back for it either. It happened at 11:30 last night.
Run out of talent, just.
Yeah. And then no brake marks or nothing, just straight up into the hedge.
So do you use buck rake just with the bucket then?
With the maize, we do have a grape for silage,
right, okay.
But just when we're at the maize, we use the bucket. Because our old grape wouldn't be the best for maize now. More of it would fall through it than go up with it.
Too broad, just.
Yeah. So that's why we use the bucket. Good old veneering.
I've never heard of them shovels till today, and I've seen 2 of them one day.
There's a reason for that.
You're not a fan?
They're all right. That one gave us great service until the end.
Right.
Well, that one is twice the shovel that one ever was. So I'm going to start shoving up